Good morning and welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday Meditation Service. My name is Dave and I'm honored to be of service this morning. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning, and as an Eagle Scout myself, we'd like to extend a special welcome to our friends from the Heart of America Council. We hope that our service this morning finds you happy and healthy, but please know that if you're struggling in any way, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with some conscious breath work, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and then pause for a moment before releasing slowly so the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs, and releasing slowly. And as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. A second conscious breath. Pausing for just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, and then releasing slowly. As you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week, all the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being, not doing. And a third conscious breath together. Holding for just a moment. And releasing slowly. And as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin our service with a chant. And chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. And Victor will explain our chant this morning.
Thank you so much, Dave. Good morning, everyone. Our chant today is Namo Amitabha Hamsa, Hamsa. Namo Amitabha Hamsa. And so in the Buddhist practice, this is a chant that honors the brightness of clarity, the Buddha of limitless light. And Hamsa, Hamsa means I am that clear, present, limitless light that can be bright and shine for all beings in all places. And so with that, let's take a conscious breath together. And let's begin. Namo Amitabha Hamsa Hamsa. 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 With a smile. Namo Amitabha Hamsa Hamsa. Namo Amitabha Hamsa Hamsa. Once more. Namo Amitabha Hamsa Hamsa.
Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights as well as mindfulness, meditation, and their practical application in our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you will participate only at the level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us to realize the true nature of who we are. And Sangha, our spiritual community, an essential part of growth where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. Let's take a moment now to silence any electronic devices and to prepare a meditative environment. And we will now recite the prayer of refuge, which we will recite together 3 times in honor of the 3 jewels. Together, in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened, through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened, through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened, through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom. For the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we prepare now for a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that's fitting for you this morning. If you're new to meditation, we'll begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and then we'll spend approximately 12 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin with a conscious breath together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. I send my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so, as the sound of the bell recedes, it acts as a guide, showing us the way into stillness, to calm, to silence. It's not the external silence that it shows us the way to. It is that internal silence that's not dependent on external circumstances. That silence which is always with us. And so, if you need to take another conscious breath or to adjust your posture, whatever is necessary to partner with the body, to find a new level of gentleness and ease with every out-breath. And so, connected to the breath by bringing your awareness to the rise and fall of the tummy as the breath falls into its natural flow, its natural rhythm. And the body is easy and light. There are no points that are contracted. Remembering to release our forehead muscles, to unfurrow the eyebrows. The jaw is light and unclenched. The shoulders drop, and the belly softens and releases. From here, we can bring our awareness to awareness itself, noticing when the mind is distracted by a sound, perhaps in the hallway, the next room, or any rustling in the meditation hall itself. Noticing when the mind becomes distracted by a sensation, like an itch or an ache, or perhaps a tummy rumble. And noticing when the mind becomes distracted by a thought, or it could even be a string of thoughts. Our practice is to bring awareness to what it is that all these things rise and fall within. The sounds, the sensations, the thoughts, they all just come and go, rise and fall. But what is it that they are coming and going within? Our practice is to cultivate that vast, open, pure awareness that holds space for all the things that appear and disappear. Our practice is to cultivate the knower, not the things that are known. And so, connected to the breath, the body is gentle and light, the mind is clear, yet receptive to whatever may arise, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply now into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so I invite you to remain in a meditative state as you bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice, the sound of any rustling in the room, or perhaps the sound of the cricket that has joined us this morning. And as you become aware of the sense door of sound, can you keep a small amount of your awareness, like 5%, on that deep, still silence within, that silence that is always with us and is not determined or dependent on external circumstances, not needing the world to be quiet, but finding that stillness within. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you become aware of the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of material, matter, form, at the same time, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on that which is formless? In other words, can you be aware that you are aware? It's like pulling the camera back one step. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, not focusing hard on anything, simply allowing objects and stuff and things to come to you. And as you become aware of colors and shapes, things, people, can you at the same time be aware not only of the objects, but can you be aware of the space around them? Can you sense the space within these walls? And can you sense that even though you sit perfectly still, you have never been in the same space for more than an instant, because our planet is rotating or spinning at a fantastic rate. It is also orbiting at a fantastic rate. It is part of a universe and a galaxy that is also spinning, hurling through the universe itself. And so we bring an awareness to that sense of space. And next, I invite you to bring your awareness now to the breath as we all take a conscious breath together, breathing in, holding for a moment, and releasing. And as you release, be present in the here and the now, in this time and in this place. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Dave. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Good morning, everyone. Good morning. There we go. Good, beautiful, wonderful. And of course, as many of you know, being close to Halloween, we usually get a visit from one of our traveling teachers. Bodie Bones is here with us today, sharing time in our Sangha. He's an excellent meditator, I'll have to say that. I tried out meditating and just couldn't do it. I asked Bodie Bones if he wanted to talk today, but he didn't feel like he had the guts. I said, come on, Bodie, live a little. So we want to welcome everybody this morning to Temple Buddhist Center. My name is Victor Dougherty. I'm the director. And today is really, truly a very auspicious day. Auspicious just means it's just special in so many ways. We have visiting with us so many members of the Heart of America Council on Scouting. What a privilege and an honor to have you folks joining us today. Today is also, I was reminded by Karen, thank you, Karen, that today is my 6-year anniversary as director of Temple Buddhist Center, and I was a student as well. I started coming to Temple Buddhist Center back in 2005, I believe, and became director 6 years ago. And of course, just the excitement of Halloween and the fall and the autumn visit from Bodhi Bones. So we're so happy to be here sharing today with everybody. So today, the Dharma talk, Dharma means truth, and truth can have basically two meanings. Truth can mean the truth teachings, the teachings that release us from fear, from delusion, from anger, hatred. And also Dharma, meaning truth, can also mean the truth of this moment. This moment has a truth and a reality to it, although we're not always able to be aware of that. So that is our practice in meditation, is to bring awareness constantly to the moment. And so the talk today, Buddha's Bats and Bones, I thought would be kind of fun in honor of Halloween. Many people don't realize that skeletons, or probably even more appropriately, skulls, which you might see on a lot of different statues, artwork, mala beads, things like that in the Buddhist tradition. And in Buddhism, the skull or a skeleton, it doesn't have actually anything to do with like the macabre or Halloween or scary stories and things like that. In the Buddhist tradition, skeletons represent emptiness. And a constant reminder that that is an aspect of the entire universe, is this emptiness. And I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole with that, but that's basically the idea of what it means. And so the talk today is always appropriate at this time of the year to talk about the 6 realms of existence in the Buddhist practice. And so the 6 realms is what I'm going to be talking about today, and showing how these realms apply not so much to like a Buddhist cosmology or to various aspects of the theology itself, but more to an application of noticing how those realms, those 6 realms, are present with each one of us each and every day. So it's more of a practical, literal application of those 6 realms. So I want to start off with a little story about a monk. Actually, I think it was Bodhi Bones in his younger years. Bodhi Bones one time, when he first came to America, stayed with a family, and on the morning of October 31st, he happened to be with that family, and so everybody was excited about Halloween, and we were explaining to Bodhi Bones that children may be coming by and trick-or-treating, and that we should be ready and have some candy. And so Bodhi Bones had not heard of Halloween before, and so we kind of gave him the lowdown on all of this, and we told him about skeletons, and Bodhi Bones was like, oh, skeletons, yes, we in Burma, in Myanmar, we meditate on skeletons because we're meditating on that emptiness. And then we talked to Bodhi Bones about trick-or-treating, and Bodhi Bones was excited. He's like, oh, that's wonderful, an opportunity for giving. And he got very excited about that. And so we hopped in the car and we went to the store, and we were there picking out candy and stuff like that. And so Bodhi Bones was very excited. And so we finally found the store, and right? And so we were there, and we settled in, and we started getting up the candy, and Bodhi Bones just kept loading in bags of candy. He says, we have to be ready. We have to be able to give. This is so wonderful, because in my country and in my practice, With the alms bowl, we often go around, and with the bowl, we receive. And the true meaning of receiving is how well we can give. And so he was very excited to get this. So we finally got Bodie Bones home, and he started taking the bags of candy and stuffing them in the windows. And we're like, Bodie, what are you doing? And he's like, well, the children have to see that we have all this candy so that they'll come to the doors. It's like, well, okay, tell you what, we'll put 1 or 2 bags in the window, but the rest we need to put into these bowls so that we can hand out the candy to the children. He was very excited. Oh, yes, absolutely. They will see, and they will come, and they will be so excited. So finally, the time came, the doorbell rang, and Bodie Bones opened the door, and the kids were like, trick or treat, and he just starts showering them with candy, giving them all this candy, telling the kids that this is wonderful. Remember, in order to truly, truly receive, we must learn to truly give. And of course, we realized very quickly, we're going to need more candy. So we sent a couple folks and sent them off to get more candy. And so this is wonderful. And Bodie Bones exclaimed, he said, all my life I have had a begging bowl, but this is not a begging bowl. Today I have a giving bowl. And so he was so excited to continue giving all that candy. So it's just a lighthearted, fun story about Bodie Bones in his earlier days and his introduction to Halloween and the joy of giving. So the 6 realms in the Buddhist practice, oh, and I got a slide. I got a little, there, ta-da. Our normal community is not actually used to this. I don't generally tend to have a lot of slides or handouts, but I do today in honor of our visiting guests. And so to revisit the 6 realms in the Buddhist practice is not only a way for us as practitioners to honor our very deep roots, over 2,500 years old. These roots go very, very deep. And the teaching on the 6 realms is a profound and a deep teaching. And it helps us to revisit these teachings every now and then to help connect us to our traditions, to our lineages, and to our practice. So Shakyamuni Siddhartha Gautama, or Shakyamuni Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama was his actual name. Everybody just called him Buddha, which means the awakened one. So Shakyamuni Buddha did not see these 6 realms as geographic places of existence. Instead, he saw them as psychological states of mind, states of being. So when we look at the 6 realms in this manner, the teaching of the 6 realms comes alive, and we begin to see the world around us and within us as nothing but the 6 realms. And so also these were taught, of course, 2,500, 3,000 years ago. The 6 realms were taught, and there was lots of deities and cosmology and paintings. And as you can see, the mandala there, the 6 realms are represented on there. And of course, back in those days, there was a poetry to the experience and to the explanation of things. Nowadays, in our modern times and in Western Buddhism, we tend to look very much at the psychology, we look at some of the literal things, but back in those days, there was a kind of a poetry to the stories about the 6 realms. And so that's why you see so many of those things, and that's why I think it's important to revisit those. So Buddhism is a wisdom path. Wisdom is in the body, so it's an opportunity to awaken to our different states of mind, to our different states of being, because it is from those states of being that every intentional thought, word, and deed comes from. And every intentional thought, word, and deed is what we call karma. Karma's not necessarily what Westerners often think about. Oh, you know, I don't want to come back as a cactus, or I don't want to come back as a squirrel or something like that. Everyone's so worried about what they're going to reincarnate. It's not really like that. It's really more about every intentional thought, word, and deed in this moment affects and creates the next moment. And so therefore we bring an awareness to our state of mind, our state of being. And so this is why we need these teachings, is to help us to constantly be aware of the Dharma in each and every moment. So note also that, and you probably can't see it, but within each of the 6 realms in the Buddhist practice, there is a Buddha that exists in that realm to bring to the residents of that realm the Dharma, the teachings, so that in every realm there is the opportunity for awakening. And it also kind of explains how the Dharma is universal, can work for all beings in all places. And also, I feel the need to also comment that in the Western tradition of Buddhism, Western Buddhism is not a religion. It's more of a practice like yoga. It is a way of living our life, a philosophy. And so therefore, people of many faiths can come and practice with us, can practice Buddhism. However, in many parts of the world, it is considered a religion. And so I just wanted to make a quick comment about that. So let's talk about the 6 realms of existence. We're going to begin with the what's known as the ghost realms. And so we're starting kind of down the list a little bit, but the hungry ghost realms, for example, if the egoic mind decides that it really likes something or a situation, oh, this is pleasant, this feels good, or I like the taste of that, then it begins to churn up all sorts of ways to possess it. I must have the precious. A craving begins. A craving begins to consume the situation, and we begin trying to constantly satisfy that craving with whatever that pleasant thing, that tasty thing, or that thing that felt so good, whatever it was, we must possess, own, have more. So once we do that, in this tradition of the 6th realm, a ghost of that craving carries over, and we look around for something else to consume, and it never stops, it never ends. Oftentimes you'll notice, even when we're eating a meal, we've got 1 spoonful and we haven't even finished chewing this bite. We're not even interested in experiencing this bite. We want more, and so we're after it, shoveling, going and going and going. So that's kind of a way that we see that. We get caught up into the habitual pattern of becoming consumed, oriented, constantly after these things. And it starts with something as small as just a bite of something very tasty and delicious. But we can see how it reproduces in our own lives. For example, you know, maybe you get some new piece of software on your computer, or maybe, a new app on your phone. Oh boy, we all know what this is like. We get a new app, and it's lots of fun for a little while. And then the fun wears off, and now I need more. So you see, in a way, what the ghost is it's not the things that we enjoy, that we taste and touch and feel and experience. It becomes the seeking of those things. There's the ghost. It's the seeking that always, just around the corner, is another tasty thing. And so this is known as the hungry ghost realm, and where we have made an occupation out of the craving itself. How many friends do we know that are standing outside the Apple store because the new iPhone 2623 has just been released? And they know this. They all know this. And so they play on this. That's why there's a constant, upgrade, renewal. Even like with video games, leveling up. It's not about anything that's accomplished. It's just that seeking of the next. So there's that ghost. So let's talk about the animal realm. By the way, if you haven't noticed already, the sixth realm could actually be some really good ideas for Halloween costumes for those of you still undecided. So another realm in the six realms of existence in the Buddhist practice is the animal realm, or having the mind like an animal. Here, we find security by making sure, making certain that everything is totally predictable. I know what's going to happen, and I find comfort in that knowing, right? By making certain that everything is totally predictable. We only buy, the certain stocks because we know what's going to happen, or we buy the certain games because, we know that's what's going to be the best or the popular, or even clothing in the fall as we prepare for school. We're trying to figure out what is going to be popular, what's going to be in style. And so the mind is so busy trying to figure the future out, right? The thought of new possibilities, however, can kind of frighten us, and we look at scorn with anyone who suggests something new and different, or outside of the box, or not ordinary, something that might be unique. So this realm is characterized by ignorance. We put on blinders and only look straight ahead because I know what's going to happen. So anything different, anything that might perhaps be contrary to what our mind has decided about the future becomes scary, and we ignore it, or even worse, we run from it. And so this is that animal mind. It's interesting. Some animals that, when you see them on television, when they're locked in on a prey or something like that, they notice nothing else. Nothing else. It is a single point of awareness and attention. And so that might be helpful for some animals in hunting, but as human beings, when we do that, we suddenly eliminate all possibilities and have simply collapsed, contracted down onto only one possibility. And that can create a lot of suffering for us because all possibilities exist at all times. And so that is the animal realm. So let's take a look at the bottom one here, the hell realm, they call it. So the hell realm is characterized by acute aggression. We build a wall of anger between ourselves and our experience. Everything irritates us. Even the most innocuous, innocent statements drive us mad or anger us in some way. We're hypersensitive and look for those little eyebrow raises or those little shrugs of the shoulder or the rolling of the eyes, and we become hypersensitive and just anything sets us off, so to speak. And so the heat of our anger is reflected back on us and sends us into a frenzy. And this turn causes us to fight even harder, to get even angrier. The whole thing builds on itself until we don't even know what it is that we're fighting against. We have become addicted to fighting, period. And so we fight with other people, ourselves. Jack Kornfield says that when we stop the war inside, we will stop the wars outside. But there are these contradictions. And that's why I love the little character Sméagol or Gollum from Lord of the Rings. He is us. We're always weighing the 25 things why we should do this and the 25 reasons why we shouldn't do this. And there we are, locked in battle. Ram Dass, a great spiritual teacher, One time, he was leading a group of people on a walk down the sidewalk, and they came across a person who was yelling and screaming and flailing, obviously had some mental inconsistencies. But he turned to his group and he said, the only difference between him and you is that he does it on the outside. So when we open to the possibilities and we purify and release anger and hatred and this constant need to be contrary and standing up for some belief system at the expense of allowing other people to have their belief systems, then we create a lot of suffering. My great-grandpappy was from Ireland. His name was Paddy, Patio Furniture. And so Paddy used to say, in Ireland we have a saying, you can be right or you can have friends. So I want to move on now to the higher levels of the sixth realm of existence. So those were the three lower realms, the realms that tend to be born within us each and every moment when we are caught up in fear, anger, hatred, delusion. So these next three realms are still part of the human experience. They are still on the wheel of samsara, so to speak, and they still come from karmic tendencies of the things that we say and do that come from unwholesome states of mind, so to speak. So let's look at the jealous God realm, the jealous God realm. This pattern of existence is characterized by acute paranoia. We are always concerned with making it, getting there, achieving, arriving. Everything seems competitive. We are always trying to score points, one up the other person, trying to prevent other people from scoring. If someone achieves something special, we become determined to outdo them. This is an interesting realm. I've spent a lot of time there. It has a Casey's. So in this realm, as some of you know, that I'm a singer-songwriter, play guitar, and I enjoy going to open mics and jam sessions and things like that. I enjoy making music, but it wasn't always so. In my earlier years, I was very competitive. If somebody else came up before me and was a really good guitar player or wrote a really beautiful song, I was determined to outdo them. I wasn't even present with their joy. I wasn't present with their ability to express the sacred in all of its forms. I was too caught up in my own jealous God realm. But as my spiritual practice matured and I was able to then begin to feel their joy, and I could become very happy for them that they have this beautiful way of expressing music and poetry and songs. So the jealous God realm, if someone tries to help us when we're in this realm, when we try to figure out the angle, then sometimes we push away that help. No, I can do it. These are some of the characteristics of when we are caught in that realm. And so next I want to touch on the heavenly realm, the godly realm. At some point we might hear about spirituality. We might hear about the possibilities of meditation, mindfulness, all kinds of different practices, Eastern religions, mystical Western religions and traditions. And this will make our minds peaceful and absorb us into universal harmony. And all is well, all is good. The problem is that this is something that we have manufactured. And so eventually a small sliver of doubt will arise, and it begins to occur more and more frequently. And soon we begin to struggle to regain our confidence. And we continue from there because now we're into striving and efforting, and we start to fall back into the lower realms. Now I'd like to address the human realm. Now, at some point, we begin to wonder if there isn't some sort of an alternative to our habitual way, our habitual patterns of dealing with the world. The human realm is, in the Buddhist practice, the most auspicious realm to be reborn into, because it is in the human realm that we have the best chance for waking up, to awakening to our true nature, our Buddha nature, our Christ nature, whatever name you want to put on it, whatever label, but waking up to that freedom from thought, freedom from those states of mind. So the human realm is characterized by doubt, but also by inquisitiveness. You hear me, and also Robert, often talk about playful curiosity. It is important to cultivate that in our practice so that we do not become judgmental. Instead, we become playfully curious. Why did I say and do that? Or how did I get into this state of mind? And to explore and understand those. And so finally, we talk about what many of you have heard of as nirvana. Nirvana. Nirvana has become equated with a sort of Eastern version of heaven, but actually, nirvana simply means cessation. Cessation, or to cease. And so it is the cessation of aggression, the cessation or the ending of ignorance. It is the cessation of struggle, worry, fear. We don't have to struggle to survive after all. We have already survived. We survive now. The struggle was just an extra complication. Eckhart Tolle tells us it takes a lot of pain and suffering to realize we don't have to go through a lot of pain and suffering. And so as we wake up to this and we become basically exposed to that first insight, that realization of our true nature, love, compassion, joy, and peace. So the spiritual path is not about adding anything to us. It is about purifying fear, greed, hatred, and delusion to realize the truth of who we are. Thank you very much.
Let's just take a moment now to embody the teachings before we move into our heart practice for today. So let's have a conscious breath together. And our heart practice today is not actually what Victor has on the slide there. It's something that we came up with this morning.
Close and read.
So as we move into our heart practice, you may want to create some kind of an outward gesture. Some people like to do the Anjali Mudra, which is like the prayer hands, which is a focusing of the heart energy. Or you may want to place one or both hands over your heart. Or you can simply put your hands on your lap with your palms out in an outward gesture. And let's take another conscious breath together. May I be trustworthy to all who may depend on me. May I be loyal to myself and to others. May I be helpful to anyone in need. May I be friendly to everyone I meet. May I be courteous in my words and actions. May I be kind toward all beings. May I be obedient to my sense of purpose and duty. May I be cheerful in spirit. May I be thrifty and not wasteful. May I be brave in the face of opposition. May I be clean in thought, intention, and behavior. And may I be reverent to my own beliefs and the beliefs of others. A conscious breath. And in the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are given freely. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, meaning not in return for anything that you have received, but so that others who may seek refuge in our Sangha may find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located at the back of the meditation hall and on the upper level near the door on the west side there. And thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers, and thank you to our TBC ambassadors, those who have committed to regular electronic donations. It's not about the amount, it's just that the monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you'd like to become an ambassador, just point your camera at the QR code on the cards in the seat backs in front of you, or you can come by our website at templebuddhistcenter.com. Thank you to Victor for sharing your wisdom with us today, and to Rochelle for your beautiful music. And thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your heart and your practice and your time with us here today. We certainly are the better for it. And I'm going to have to stall for quite a while because Victor's trying to make his way around the room to everybody. So, yeah, how about those Chiefs? So, all right, so let's prepare now to close our service with the Bodhicitta dedication, which we will recite together one time, and then if you can stick around just a little bit after that, we do have some announcements. So, the Bodhicitta dedication together. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste.
Thank you so much, Dave. And I'll be speaking with the scouts shortly after. Those of you that need to leave, of course, by all means, please do. And again, the restrooms are down the hall. Don't forget, there's coffee, cookies downstairs for those that would like to have fellowship. Our Coping with Depression class is Tuesday evening at 6:30, 7:30. Please register online. And next Sunday is Interplay. For those of you that have not experienced Interplay, it is a wonderful way for adults to learn to find the joy and the spontaneity of play in a structured and safe environment. Beth does such a wonderful job leading our Interplay. Every Tuesday evening is Tai Chi Cha, movement meditation, a wonderful complement to your formal sitting practice. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter, our volunteer opportunities, our lending library. Wave your hand, Zan. The lending library is right over here by Zan, and it is burgeoning, so come and find a book on the Dharma or the teachings. Thank you to Liz for our online store. She does such a great job with that. I will leave this up on the board for those of you who'd like to take a picture of it. Again, thank you all so much for being here as you go into your day. I wish you peace and blessings.
I don't know if this thing's running.